Hey, it's Mark Eitel again. It's Thursday afternoon, Thursday the 7th, 7/7/21. I put out a video this morning that was basically a few data points and a summary of an article that I read this morning in CNBC.com's homepage that showed the data kind of indicates that the market is stabilizing a bit. And the gist of that was now there's more opportunity for someone interested in buying who might have been sitting on the sidelines because they were tired of competing with cash offers and they needed a mortgage and felt that they were at a disadvantage in this market. So market's still great. I didn't mean to insinuate, and I don't think I did in that article, in that video, that the bottom was falling out of the market anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I have a chart up I'm going to show you real quick. Let me do a screen share why I don't think that's going to happen. So this, I on to the Federal Reserve economic data page from, this is the St. Louis Fed's website. So you can log on to see this yourself. It's fed.stlouis, fed.stlouisfed.org. But anyway, Google Fred, F-R-E-D, and St. Louis Fed, and you can get to this page. So this is what I wanted to show you. Here is the bubble of 2006, 7, 8, 9, and then the subsequent burst to an overcorrection point, and then this is the appreciation cycle we have been on ever since. And you can see this is Florida real estate from the 70s through today, and this actually, the data here ends the end of the first quarter 2021. So this is current data. And as soon as the Q2 chart is released, I'll update this video. But this is in response to a few phone calls I've gotten, and I encourage the phone calls because I really geek out on this stuff and love talking to everybody about it. But you can see that we've had a fairly stable, a few dips here and there, but a fairly stable and moderate appreciation cycle in Florida real estate historically. And that was regardless of interest rate, because in this time we've had 15, 18% interest rate, 10% interest rate, and until very recently, interest rates between 4 and 8%. So what I want to do is just take this, continue this moderate appreciation curve and move it forward to where we would be today. And I'm trying to be fair with this. It's probably a little conservative, but anyway, that gives you an idea. So here's the bubble. Bubble bursts. Here's the overcorrection, and then the appreciation cycle continues. So if we flatten this cycle out, we'd be somewhere up in here. But anyway, I guess let me erase that. That wasn't really smart. I'm just mucking it up here. Okay, so this is the interesting thing. Right here is when money became super cheap, and some could almost say free. And by free, I mean 2.75% on a 30-year fixed rate. When you factor in normal inflation, you're talking about money at a cost less than inflation in a lot of instances. And this was directly related to COVID and the economic policy and the intervention and the Fed buying mortgage-backed securities. So my point in this is that if you continued the natural appreciation cycle, we'd still be somewhere up in here. Get this out of the way. But if you are worried about a bubble, I want you to see that there's not a bubble forming. We do have some lift here. If it continues and starts to look like this, yes, we definitely would have cause for concern. But let's say that we flatten from here. We flatten from this point and we start to go flat. If we just continue our normal conservative appreciation cycle, we're only talking about a year, I'm guessing. a year before we would be caught back up if we were still on this slow, gradual pace. If you factor in the buying power gained by the ridiculously low cost of money, there's really no need for this to have flattened out. So Yes, there is some lift. I'm anticipating a bit more lift in the Q2 report, but there's nothing here that indicates we're in a bubble. This is a long sustained growth pattern. It's fairly conservative in that there's no big up or down ticks. And this started in the, where are we here? This started in about 2012 with a fairly consistent appreciation cycle. So no real cause for alarm, I don't think. I mean, that's kind of upsetting. No real cause for alarm from where we are right here. I think the accelerated appreciation of the last year clearly is a result of the monetary policy surrounding the COVID crisis. But the reality is we're at 30-year interest rates that are, in the threes still, had been in the twos at one point in this recovery process from COVID. So I would not be alarmed if you factor in the affordability of a mortgage in conjunction with this, fairly consistent appreciation cycle. There doesn't appear to be a bubble forming at this point. I think there's some logic behind prices flattening, and as more inventory comes on the market, as the video and article this morning stated, is indeed happening, we're going to see prices stabilize, but that doesn't mean prices are going to fall. You see what a bubble looks like in this chart, and we're not there yet. We got a tiny bit of lift, but it's not anything that is alarming at this point. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that questions after that video this morning, which I welcome. I love talking about this stuff. And the other thing to remember is the bubble last time was caused by artificially low cost of money in the form of interest-only loans, negative amortization loans, adjustable rate income or adjustable rate mortgages. So those mortgages adjusted, people could no longer afford them. Interest-only periods expired, and then they couldn't afford those homes. And when appreciation slowed, they had to dump them. They couldn't sell them because the subprime meltdown took a whole portion of the marketplace out from under available money, and boom, we had a foreclosure boom that resulted in this. I'm looking at the chart now. A considerable downturn and drove our economy into a recession. That's not happening this time. The vast majority of, and when I say vast majority, I'm talking 80-90% of the mortgages that I'm personally seeing are 30-year fixed rate mortgages. People buying either a primary residence or an investment property. We're not seeing the speculation that we did in the past. So anyway, I hope this puts some minds at ease. I'm going to continue to do this as these charts, this data becomes more available and more updated. But this is the end of Q1 2021 data, and I think it clearly shows that while we've experienced some rapid appreciation, I don't think there's certainly not the bubble that we saw of the early 2000s, and very, very different fundamentals of this market. So again, feel free to reach out with questions. I'm here, my team's here, and we're happy to help. Thanks.